When I started in the industry, I'd completed my training, and I really felt that my work, the thing I loved to do, was work with people who had challenges with their skin. And I think it was because my family were in nursing, my mother and two of my older sisters were nurses, that I felt this desire to link healthcare and wellness with the work that I was doing. But when I graduated in the mid-70s, it was all about beauty and pampering and luxury. I just couldn't connect to that with a sense of purpose. And so I felt strongly that my work would probably be focused in acne and working with people who really needed somebody who'd been well trained to connect and resolve those issues for them. When I emigrated to the United States in 1983, my intention was to get a job working in a salon. I hadn't thought I was coming here to start a company or a training company. I had a teaching credential in skincare by that stage. And when I got here, first of all, there was a 10.4% unemployment rate in the state of California. Secondly, I couldn't find any salons to interview at. And all the salons I could find, I was in Los Angeles, were in Beverly Hills, super expensive and very sort of European ritzy. And I thought, well, where are all the, everyday skincare salons? I got my license here in the state of California. My original license said cosmetician, and then my most recent license still says esthetician. I believed I was a skin therapist because what I was doing was not about beauty, it was about therapeutic action on the skin. So just as people would say massage therapist or physical therapist, or even psychotherapist, I'm a skin therapist. I believed that. I did then, and it's been part of my purpose in my career. When I went on these early interviews, it became quickly apparent that the training, the education in California at that stage was really way too brief to equip somebody with a skill set that they could be successful with. It was 600 hours. It's still 600 hours. Only 7 of the 50 states even had a license. In some states, you could just be grandfathered in because you were a hairdresser, or you'd come from Europe with a license or training there and they just grandfathered you in the state that you were in. And California had a separate license with an exam, which I took and passed, and I realized the big gap was in education. I just couldn't stand the fact that there were so many skin therapists becoming trained as estheticians that wanted to have great results on the skin and didn't have the skill set to do it. I had a teaching credential to teach that, and so we set up in December of 1983 the International Dermal Institute. I'd spent that year teaching at Takara Belmont, who sold skincare equipment. I was teaching a Monday class, and I realized, oh my goodness, these students that are coming to hear me a one-day demonstration, they really want to understand how to give the treatment. And give a treatment, not just do a treatment like a mechanic, but really connect themselves to it. And I felt absolutely determined that that was what I was meant to be doing. So we set up a 1,000 square foot classroom in Marina del Rey. It was no big location study that made us open there. It was walking distance from our one-bedroom apartment, and I didn't have a car. So we opened up this small office space next to the Social Security office. It was the cheapest rental in Marina del Rey. We sent out a postcard to the state board list of people that were licensed and said, hey, the skincare industry is a huge industry. Are you getting your fair share? Do you have the skills to be successful? And the resounding answer back was, no, and I want to learn them. And so I was teaching every day. I was taking the laundry and the towels and everything home to my one-bedroom apartment at night and doing the laundry in the garage until midnight every night so that we had clean uniforms to take back for the students to wear the next day. I would sit on the dryer in the laundry room in the basement of that apartment building, and I'd sat on the dryer so I could hold it for myself, because you'd put the washing in, and if you just went back up to your apartment, somebody would have grabbed the dryer and I'd be there till 2 in the morning. So I sat on the dryer watching the washing machine going around. And I would say to myself, what am I doing here? What is this all about? And there has to be a higher vision. And so I would say to myself, It's about total world domination of professional skincare. And as crazy as that sounds now, and maybe arrogant, it wasn't about owning the industry, it was about equipping the industry, skilling the industry, upskilling the industry to become universally successful. That we would have an industry that when you said to somebody, I'm a skin therapist, they would understand what that meant. They would have salons in every corner. I wanted to democratize the industry so that everyone had access to a skin therapist who cared about their client's skin and had the education to get results. I just would sit there and visualize. If we just keep training, if we train well, if more students come, if they tell other people, we can open more schools. It was before the internet, remember, so I didn't have a vision of online, which of course now is such a huge advantage and tool that we use. But this idea that around the world there are skin therapists working in small rooms that do not have the skills to be successful. And they have the ambition and they have the heart. And for whatever reason, I've been put in a spot that I could make perhaps a dent in that. And I realized also that I've had the unique opportunity. As challenging as my childhood was, my mother was widowed and I'd been raised in a family where there wasn't a lot of money. And as challenging as all of us have, we've all got a story. But here's what I did have. I had the opportunity to get a great education in a career that I could transport with myself anywhere in the world. There were people around the world, largely women, who also wanted to have a career. And the two things they lacked was the opportunity to pursue the education and the opportunity to be allowed to do it. And I just made a decision right there in that laundry room. I'm going to make a difference. And together with all the students that we train, we're going to change the industry. And it wasn't me. It was every student that came to every class. It was every skin therapist that started to call themselves a skin therapist. It was every one of us that said it's not about beauty, it's about skin therapy. It's not about pampering and luxury and indulgence. It's about health and wellness of the skin. It's not about saying that this is some kind of treat. It's a treatment. It's not a facial, it's a skin treatment. This has nothing to do with something superficial. This has to do with empowering an army of skin therapists, upskilling them, empowering them to have a career of their dreams. And in turn, oh yeah, making sure people have amazing skin as a result. And that's where Dermalogica came in 1986. We had to have a product. We need to be armed with a product that could get us those results. And that was the next mission, Dermalogica.